Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at pitching for today, the 14th of May. It is Wednesday. We do have a four-game day slate and then a 9-game main slate this evening. Some weather out there, nothing too crazy. New York does have some worries. Something we definitely want to pay attention to because of Clay Holmes in that game. Doesn't appear to be any real worries this morning. Philly obviously could see a little bit of rain, but I think they're good to go for that doubleheader. Want to make sure when the Phillies drop their lineup, I haven't seen it yet, that Luzardo is actually starting the first game. Sometimes teams flip-flop their projected starters during doubleheader days, so something to pay attention to. But a reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options on the day. I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you do play in FanDuel, I would cut my pool in half or so. You don't have to be as creative. Pricing isn't quite as tight. Allows you to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. So with all that said and done, let's just take a look at some of these pitchers and see what we are going to do. Jesus Luzardo against Fetty. I'm just never playing Eric Fetty, so be it. Luzardo started out the season super hot, come down to earth a little bit. St. Louis, not a huge K team. I do think there are a few more strikeouts against left-handed pitching, if I remember correctly. Luzardo, a minus 185 favorite, which is the largest favorite on this 4-game slate. K-prop of 5.5 juice to the over, so he does have the top K-prop on the slate as well. I don't see any win odds posted yet, or at least didn't when I wrote these numbers down. But he feels like he would be the leader in that category as well. Luis Castillo against the Yankees. Castillo's just not racking up strikeouts, walking guys, etc. Probably getting a little lucky in some spots. Taking on a Yankee squad that they can strike out. His K-prop's at 5.5 with juice on the under. But he's plus 205 during the W. The Yankees are actually a minus 118 favorite. I don't really like the idea of playing Luis Castillo. We faded him this game against Toronto. I think I might just go back to the fade train here with Luis Castillo. Tougher to fade a guy on a 4-game slate, to be honest, but I just don't think I want to roll with that spot. Eduardo Rodriguez has looked horrendous. He gave up a bunch of runs, but struck out 10 against Philadelphia. So there is upside to him. Pitching in a ballpark I obviously like pitching in. I prefer being night games in San Francisco. Day games, the ball does carry a little better. He is plus 165 during the W, which should be second behind Luzardo, I would believe. K-prop of 5.5 juice on the under, which is tied for third best on the slate. The Giants are minus 115 favorites, but Erod more likely to earn the W than Hicks. I think I'm going to play some Erod. He just has the K upside to offset allowing some runs, where like Luis Castillo just doesn't seem to have that K upside to help us. I would rather gamble with Erod in a better matchup, better ballpark. No, similar ballpark, I guess, with Seattle, but I do think it's a better matchup for his upside. Will Warren, coming off of a great start against the A's. Super volatile guy, a lot of talent, but then he tends to have these innings or just a couple bat stretches where he kind of loses control, gives a walk, has to basically throw something down the middle, and gets hit. K-prop of 5.5. He's plus 185 during the W, which is a little behind Erod, but ahead of Castillo in this game. I think Seattle does offer some upside, so I am going to be on Will Warren. Feels dangerous. Feels like I'm living dangerously on this beginning slate. I'm not really excited to use Jordan Hicks, but it is pitching in this ballpark, so maybe we do have to consider him. allows plenty of base runners. And Arizona is dangerous enough that I think I might be able to get off of Hicks. His K-prop's just 4.5 juiced on the under. Last one from this slate, Gavin Williams versus Logan Henderson. Now, am I going to go to Gavin Williams? Do I have to walk back some of my words? I might have to here. 8+ strikeouts in 3 of 4, but the main reason is this Milwaukee offense has been struggling hardcore. Williams been decent at home. He still allows a ton of base runners, and that is a worry for me. I'll have to look into some of his stolen base allowed numbers, because if Milwaukee does get on base, I do expect them to try to steal a bunch because their offense just isn't clicking. But I think Gavin Williams just has to be played, mainly because it is a 4-game slate. Logan Henderson was spectacular in his Major League debut. I'm going to go back to him. He's getting the call up for this game. I like the spot. K upside might not be there against this Cleveland squad, but I am very interested in Logan Henderson. Switching over to this main slate of games. Bassett versus Pepio. Bassett plus 165 during the W with a K-prop of 5.5, and he's minus 162 favorite. Pepio plus 185, but K-prop of 4.5 juice on the under. I don't think I'm going to end up on Pepio, even though I do like him as a pitcher. K's haven't been there, and now he gets a matchup where K's generally aren't there. I know Shane Baz started out pretty solid last night, but the offense has picked up. Bassett has not looked good in 4 straight starts. He's allowed 2 home runs in each of his last 3. Those are numbers I don't like to see at all, but he is pitching at home where he has been far better. Strikeout rate is higher, etc. And Tampa Bay is without Yandy Diaz in this series, so I think that's enough for Chris Bassett and his K-prop of 5.5. To make my pool in a game with just an 8 total as well. Mets, Pirates, we talked about some weather to begin with, but if that game gets the all clear, I am going to the Clay Holmes train. Holmes has really impressed me so far, not allowing many hits at home, getting accustomed to being a starter. I did talk about, at some point, I do expect him to hit somewhat of a wall, because he's not used to this many innings. But he and the Mets are minus 278 favorites, which is the second highest number on the slate. His K-prop's actually 5.5. It's a pick'em. Doesn't have any win odds yet because I assume that's weather related. We might get that later this afternoon. Game total just 8 with juice on the under. Is the second lowest total on this slate as well. Clay Holmes just feels like a pretty solid option for us. Nick Lodolo taking on the weak White Sox squad. I will be going to Lodolo. He does struggle when pitching at home. Yes, I understand that, but K-prop of 5.5 juice to the over ties him with Yamamoto on the slate with the top K-prop. He's second to Yamamoto at plus 105 to earn the W. Minus 230 favorites are the Reds. I'm just going to go there. I will live with what happens. The last time he faced a super weak offense, he happened to be pitching in Coors and still shut the team out through 7 innings. I'm going to Lodolo. I don't expect him to be super clean, but I'm still going to go there. No interest in pitching in this Washington-Atlanta game. I did debate Mitchell Parker, but he just hasn't looked good. He has shown some upside, but I just don't like the recent trends. Kind of hoping Atlanta kind of wakes up a little bit soon. From an offense standpoint, they have been winning games. I think I saw a mark where they had like the 4th best record over the last month or so. So maybe they're straightening some things out. Miami and the Cubs. We do have some wind blowing in Wrigley. I've seen some places where the temps are in the low 60s. I've seen them where it's going to be the 70s. I'm going to have to dig in because if the weather is cooler with that wind, I'm going to be on Jameson Taillon. Coming off of a terrible start against Mets where he got absolutely lit up. Taillon, K-prop of 5.5 juices on the under. Game total on this one's just 7.5 juice to the over. No win odds yet, but the Cubs are minus 225 favorites. I will be going to Taillon. Played him more this year than I ever thought. I have to dig into Ryan Weathers. threw just 57 pitches last rehab start. That's kind of concerning. Probably might be limited to 65 to 70. So he might not get there on weathers. I did write him down as an option, but his K-prop is just 3.5 juiced on the under. So those odds kind of tell us that he's probably more of a 3 to 4 inning guy to start out, which isn't the best for us here. Texas, Patrick Corbin. We're going to be using Patrick Corbin, I think. We're just going to follow along, picking on Colorado with pitching. Pretty night and day. Game total of 9. Juices on the under, but still, game total of 9. Corbin's K-prop at 5.5 juice to the under. He's plus 135 to earn the W. And for the odds posted, that's the third lowest odds. So, Corbin certainly going to be in play. We're just going to pick on Colorado as many times as we can in a week at this point. Kansas City, Houston, I haven't really been taking pitching in this series, and I probably should have. Lorenzen coming off of a great start after getting lit up. I'm just not sure. He traditionally is super strong against left-handed bats, struggles with right-handed bats. The issue here is Houston, a lot of right-handed bats in their lineup. Colton Gordon going to be making his major league debut. Has been pretty strong in the minors so far this season. But do I want to take pitching against a team that just doesn't strike out as much? I don't think I do. So I think I'm just going to end up off of pitching in this game. LA, San Diego. Do I use Randy Vasquez? I think the answer might be yes. As gross as it feels. I mean, it feels really gross, but San Diego's minus 192 favorites. K-prop of 4.5 juice on the under, but the Angels strike out a ton. I believe, they're still last, averaging over 12 per game of the last 3, nearly 10 per game on the road. Just everything lines up for Vasquez to have a little bit of upside. He's just not a big K guy, walks too many guys. There's volatility to it, so it's not somebody I want to lock in. You know, for a guy that's got a 3.7 ERA to have a whip of nearly 1.6, something has to correct itself. I don't know what's going to come first. Probably more runs, because I would think by now he would have figured out not walking guys, but maybe things can line up. So I do think he's in play, as gross as it feels. He's actually plus 155 to earn the W, which is better odds than Chris Bassett. Last game on this slate, Dodgers, A's, Yamamoto, Hoglund. Yamamoto, minus 110 to earn the W. K-prop of 5.5, juice to the over, which is tied with Lodolo. Minus 285 favorite on the slate is the largest favorite, coming off of an atrocious start. Prior to that, he had been absolutely spectacular. The A's can strike out, but obviously they do have plenty of power. Yamamoto generally doesn't give up home runs. He has 2 games where he's allowed 2 and then none in every other start. Yamamoto definitely in play. Upsides there in this matchup. Hoglund looked pretty good at the major league level so far. Hasn't thrown in 7 days, so should be pretty well rested. Obviously, dangerous opponent here. His K-prop's just 4.5 juice on the under. He's plus 380 to earn the W. Those are pretty extreme odds. I thought the Dodgers were going to put up some runs last night, and they were shut down. Maybe we sprinkle in Hoglund. It's super dangerous. I just believe in the prospect pedigree of him, and he's shown strong upside so far. So I do think I want a sprinkle of him, but not too much. I haven't looked at any ownership numbers. We won't have any for the main slate yet anyway, so that's the tough part. But there we have it. There's that first look at pitching on the day. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.